Hello, everyone. So a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Hope you all are doing well and safe. A warm welcome to all of you to the online consultation on strengthening community ownership in evaluation, working with communities and citizens. This consultation is organized by Asia Pacific Evaluation Association in collaboration with Eval for Action, Empower, the Constellation, EvalIndigenous, and Asia Pacific Communication Hub. And I'm Hasiti Samarasinghe, a co-leader for Evaluate Sri Lanka, and I will be your moderator for the day. So before starting the session, there are a few ground rules that you should pay attention. So kindly keep your microphone and video disabled to lessen load on your internet bandwidth and prevent any quality losses. And please rename your Zoom name as to the following format, as put first your first name and then last name. And if you have any questions or concerns, please leave them in the chat bar. So I guess we are good to go now. Hope you will all have the fruitful discussion today. Now I would like to invite Randika the Mayor to give opening remarks. Randika is a co-leader of Evaluate Asia and Evaluate Sri Lanka. Randika, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Hasiti. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good morning to everyone. We would like to welcome you all for this online consultation to strengthen community ownership in evaluation. This consultation is organized by Asia Pacific Evaluation Association in collaboration with Eval for Action, Empower, the Constellation, EvalIndigenous, and the Asia Pacific Communication Hub. In 2020, APEA, Evaluate Asia, and the Parliamentarians Forum for Development Evaluation South Asia, in collaboration with the UNFPA, Global Parliamentarians Forum for Evaluation, and Evaluate Global, developed the Asia Pacific Regional Evaluation Strategy. The Asia Pacific Regional Evaluation Strategy has 8 themes, and community ownership in evaluation is one of the themes. The Community Ownership in Evaluation Action Group believes that solutions to dire and wicked problems like the pandemic or climate change cannot be achieved by one set of stakeholders. It must be a collaborative effort of all stakeholders. Additionally, evaluators have an important role to play in order to strengthen community ownership in evaluation by involving communities throughout the evaluation process from the design stage onwards. As evaluators, we need to empower communities to take ownership of evaluation so that local knowledge can contribute towards uplifting their communities. Also, part of the 2030 agenda of No One Left Behind, we need to ensure that communities have a voice in evaluation studies. Hence, the main objective of the online consultation to strengthen community ownership in evaluation are to create awareness of the importance of strengthening community ownership in evaluation studies and to develop individual actions and actions by community and organizations for community ownership in evaluation for the Asia Pacific region. We would like to thank all our speakers, moderators, and facilitators for contributing to this consultation on community ownership. Finally, I hope all of you will find this consultation engaging and all of you will actively take part in helping to strengthen community ownership in evaluation in the Asia Pacific region.
Thank you, Randika. Now we will go for a short video clip where Marco Sigoni, Director, Evaluation Office of UNFPA, share his thoughts. Producers?
Asiti, you have to stop the chat.
Dear friends, I am honored to virtually join you today. I bring best wishes from UNFPA Evaluation Office and the Eval for Action family as we kickstart the consultation to strengthen community ownership in evaluation. I would like to congratulate the Asia Pacific Evaluation Association, the Empower Foundation, the Constellation, EvalIndigenous, the Asia Pacific Communication Hub, and the other partners for shaping and leading this important consultation. You know, we moved from global to regional to sub-regional to national and now to community level consultation. That is simply great because the changes in people's lives happens at community level. The COVID-19 pandemic has wiped out decades of global development. Those vulnerable have been impacted the most. Those marginalized have been left farther behind. This has derailed the delivery of the Sustainable Development Goals, a 15 years global roadmap to improve the lives of people everywhere by 2030. A critical way to set course again is to put communities and citizens' participation at the center of development, including in evaluation. When communities and citizens take ownership of development programs and its evaluation, it empowers them and strengthens equality and sustainability. During evaluation processes, the indigenous knowledge of communities help to accurately capture what development intervention work, what does not work, for whom and why. The voice of the marginalized communities in evaluation is vital to realize the promise of leaving no one behind, a key principle of the Sustainable Development Goals. How do we bring this about? Well, by strengthening empowerment and transformative approaches in evaluation that keep communities and citizens at the center of the evaluation process. This means that we should aim at having communities to be part of the decision-making process. That is, to decide what should be evaluated, what the evaluation questions should be, what the evaluation methodology should be, and how to use the evaluation findings. As a first step in this direction, we must raise the importance of community ownership in evaluation among the broader development circles, evaluation community, policymakers, funding agencies, and most importantly, among the communities and citizens. The Asia Pacific Evaluation Association and partners have captured this important issue as part of the first Asia Pacific Evaluation Strategy, which was developed following the Eval for Action regional consultation a year ago. Community ownership in evaluation is one of the 8 action areas within this strategy. My deepest appreciation to the Regional Thematic Action Group for leading this work in the region. The Eval for Action campaign, co-led by the UNFPA Evaluation Office, the Global Parliamentarian Forum on Evaluation, and the EvalUse Global Network, is committed to raising awareness and mobilizing partnerships on the role of evaluation in the equitable delivery of the Sustainable Development Goals, and therefore including communities and citizens. I really hope this consultation will surface ideas and actions we can take individually and as a community to strengthen the ownership and voices of the most marginalized communities and citizens in evaluation. Once again, my congratulations to APEA, the Empower Foundation, the Constellation, EvalIndigenous, the Asia Pacific Communication Hub, and other partners on organizing on this consultation. I wish you fruitful and productive discussions. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay. Let's move on to so as you have already know, during past few months, Eval for Action torch has been passed through various sub-regions in the world. And now it is time to pass it from East and Southeast Asia to communities in Asia Pacific. I would like to invite Maria Ana, Vice President, Philippine Evaluators for Development, to share a few words on behalf of East and Southeast Asia. Maria, over to you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Philippine Evaluators for Development, I, Maria Ana Pulido, Vice President of PhilDev, commits to participatory evaluation, which without a doubt can help improve program performance by involving key stakeholders in evaluation, design, and decision-making, acknowledging and addressing asymmetrical levels of power and voice among stakeholders, using multiple and varied methods, having an action component so that evaluation findings are useful to the program's users, explicitly aiming to build the evaluation capacity of stakeholders. This is a great way to empower the stakeholders through transferring evaluation activities from an external evaluator to the stakeholders. Today's consultation signals our utmost desire to facilitate community ownership evaluation in the Asia Pacific region. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Now, on behalf of the communities in Asia, Janak Shrestha, General Secretary of Nepal Evaluation Society, Udeshika Jayapali, Flavor Indigenous Community Project Lead, and Ribansi Naksab and Rida Kurba, community members from India, will now receive the torch. I would like to invite Ribansi and Rida, community members from India, to share their thoughts with us. Producers.
APEA Baro ngakateng Ribansing Nongsap Nasyongasa Seleula Rimhoi District Meghalaya India. Ngadai participant na indigenous community Seleula ngapun pa ucing ai kubla APEA Baro tu pada benta hakani ka program kabakil pediang nga kumiwe nang simbenta bakajing kubla ya fake foundation kapal ayang nga yakani kala ngakermain bakani ka program kanong jimunto yang i Baro bat lin bakani ka program nin yok manwara kajing kala hakati mlang kasalang kubla sibul kubla APEA Baro.
Hello everyone, my name is Rida Kurba and I belong to the indigenous Khasi community from the northeastern state of Meghalaya, India. I am representing. Sorry? My name is Rida Kurba and belong to the indigenous Khasi community from the northeastern state of Meghalaya, India. I am representing Umsauriang village, which is located in Ripoi district of the state. First of all, I'm very grateful to be a part of this program, and I thank APEA Foundation for giving me this opportunity. I am the school teacher in one of the local schools in the community. Community have the role for taking up their responsibilities for development and taking the ownership. I am happy to accept the torch on behalf of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So let's give a round of applause to celebrate this moment. Okay, now it's time for what we all have waited. We have Ritu B. Nanda joining us today for a plenary discussion on what do we understand by community ownership in evaluation. She's a monitoring, evaluation, learning and community process consultant, Global Fund for Children at ISSP. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. what if you were in a meeting where everyone was talking on an issue which is very close to your heart? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling, and that's why I'm here. Before we start this conversation, I just wanted to give you a background of why did we term this action group as community ownership in evaluation. Yeah, first slide, please. So we wanted to make everyone think and start a dialogue on the mindset and the thinking around community ownership, that it is beyond tools and we have some participatory tools and we will make the community collect data or reflect on that data. So we started thinking, who is the community for us? And this quote, that truth always rests with the minority, was at the back of our mind, because the true status or reality of society is from whose voice is being heard, from who are the marginalized, how do they feel, where is their voice. So for us, those were the communities, and not just the homogeneous communities, but were they part of this process. The indigenous communities, youth, people from different sexual orientation, tribes, location, and so on. Yeah, next, please. And what about this term participation in development in large? And there are so many models and ladders of participation. I'm just taking one. So we started thinking in development in general, who is the driver? Are we just inviting the communities and saying, oh, we have a project, let's work together? Or are they the leaders of the development? So these are some of the questions I am leaving. I don't have the answers, but we'll co-create together. Next, please. Similarly, in evaluation, there have been a lot of debates and discussions on participatory evaluation, collaborative evaluation, and I just want to present one sample, an example here. There are many, and you can pick and choose, and just for you to start thinking about it. Weaver and Cousins have mentioned 5 dimensions of collaborative inquiry. So when you are facilitating an evaluation or research, if you are constantly reflecting, who is controlling the technical decision making on evaluation? So is it the non-research participants or the evaluator, or you're doing it together? Similarly, are you taking into account the diversity among stakeholders selected for participation? Have all the different categories in the population, have their perspectives been included? Third dimension, power relations among participating stakeholders. So who has the power amongst the stakeholders to actually enact change? How are the power dynamics amongst them? Whose voice is more powerful and who is missing? So these are the things we continue thinking about. The fourth one, management of the evaluation. So do we have the resources, the time to engage in dialogue with different stakeholders? Lastly, and a very, very important one, we make statements like it was a very participatory evaluation, but have we ever thought, who did we involve at what stage? So was it at data collection or design or analysis or reporting or follow-up after reporting? So these are the things which I have been reflecting and we as a group were reflecting together. Next, please. Yeah, so today we will together define, what do we all mean by community ownership of evaluation? And we will record this, and this will guide the further work of this group, because we want to harness your wisdom and develop a better understanding of what is this all about. So I invite you all to just think about it, relax. What does your heart say? What is community ownership of evaluation? Please type in the chat. And if we have time, I'll invite one or two people also to share. Yeah. We are totally relying on your insights. Okay, Kamlesh, evaluation fully understood by community. Very interesting insights are coming about what is our role as facilitators. We are facilitators, and which I mean the outsiders, those who do not have a stake but are there to walk along, I may say, when community is involved in different stages of evaluation, needs to understand its needs. Okay, Anthony. Even when the youngest and the oldest are able to share their opinion. Yamini says, when the need for evaluation emerges from the community, wouldn't it be nice if communities were saying, oh, we want evaluation? Okay. Okay, Tony. Community ideologies in the, okay. Yeah. Jayanti, please elaborate on meaningful involvement. Let's unpack, what is this participatory? Is FGD participatory for you? What is participatory? We create an enabling space for communities, Swanlata. Yeah. So start thinking, what is this enabling space? What does that mean? The richness and the wisdom in this group is immense. Analyze the findings and take it forward. Dr. Rajiv, when the community is involved in designing their own program and in evaluation, right from the inception, says Ruchira Baido, they take onus for their dreams and their problems. A lot of thing is coming on enabling space and a lot coming on people taking responsibility. Enabling space is when voices are considered regardless of status. Who is considering? Is it us or the communities themselves? Active citizenship. Wow. Okay, Hasiti, we have a few minutes, yeah?
Yes, maybe 3 minutes.
Okay. Anyone would like to share? Let's hear a voice. Maria, commitment to social justice and fair allocation of resources, opportunities, obligations, and bargaining power. Negotiation, yeah, Maria? So whose heart says, I really want to speak?
Can I go ahead, Ritu? So, I mean, also what I'm looking at, a lot of people are saying how to share power with communities so that they can play a meaningful role beyond just participation, which would also mean to create feedback loops, giving them power to design or define and lead, where evaluators do have a role of a facilitator in, taking the things forward.
Okay, thank you, Jayanti. One more. Let's listen.
Might I speak?
Yes, please.
When I said active citizenship, I feel that the ownership of evaluation from the community comes from that involvement. Do they feel empowered to partake? Is the community set on shaping their society, their economy? That is active ownership of evaluation, I guess. Does the community know what they want?
Community know what they want? Yes, Anthony?
Has there been a meeting? How do they know what they want? How have they come up with this evaluation? Who did it?
Yeah. This means that is also a role to kind of stimulate that critical mindset in the communities to use existing evidence, but also to generate their own evidence. One more, 30 seconds. Yeah. Yes, Mehak. Want to acknowledge that the way communities make these decisions may be different. Yes. And the time they take to take action, also we need patience. Absolutely, Mehak. Okay. Yeah, Hasiti, time's over. Yes?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have another meeting and we'll keep the discussion going. But
Yes,
absolutely
cool.
great wisdom from the team. So thank you so much. And we are going to document it. And you will take ownership of this process, hopefully. Okay, thank you and warm greetings to everyone.
Thank you very much, Ritu, for that. Like, it's a short but a rich discussion. I guess now our participants have a better view on community ownership and evaluation. Next, we have some interesting stories on how have we engaged communities in evaluation. So the first will be giving a voice to marginalized communities, a case study of the Ratugala non-commercialized indigenous community in Sri Lanka. This video presentation is narrated by Udeshika Jarpali and Randika Dimer, Indigenous Community Project Team.
Sri Lanka Evaluation Association was provided with a grant by EvalIndigenous to conduct a case study of the Ratugala non-commercialized indigenous community in Sri Lanka. In Sri Lanka, the Vedda community is known as an indigenous group. Veddas are known as the forest dwellers of Sri Lanka. Today, these Vedda communities are scattered in many parts of the island. Most of them are displaced. Originally, they lived in the North Central Province and the Sabaragamuwa Province of Sri Lanka. Later, due to development projects, they were forced to leave their homes and settle in villages. The Ratugala indigenous village is located in the Monaragala district in the Uva Province of Sri Lanka. Altogether, there are 258 indigenous people living in the Ratugala community. The Slaver team was conducted a qualitative study using a participatory research approach by involving the indigenous community leaders and community members throughout the study. This study helped to bring the voices of the indigenous community to the table and to ensure that no one is left behind. Before the start of the study, the Slaver team members visited the Ratugala indigenous community in order to build the relationship and the trust with the community and to get them involved in the design of the study. The leader of the indigenous community at Ratugala mentioned that he feels that conducting research
Producers, I think.
And evaluation studies on the
help this labor team to connect with the indigenous community better and to learn about their cultural sensitivity issues. Also, by having an indigenous community member helps to build their evaluation capacity and knowledge. In this study, the indigenous community leaders and members the interview protocols are really appropriate. Separate participatory focus group discussions with male and female indigenous community members. For the focus group discussions, the indigenous community members took ownership of the process in order to come up with the issues faced by the Ratugala indigenous community. The indigenous community members also work together to come up with solutions to the problems they face during the focus group discussions. The Slaver team was able to come up with some key findings working closely with the indigenous community leaders, indigenous community members, and other key stakeholders, which will be used for further studies to enhance the indigenous people's capacities and the need for an evaluation system for them.
Okay, thank you. I think there was some technical issues, but I think you all grabbed the essence of the video. Now I would like to invite Shireen Banu Ansari, community member from Mumbai, Empower, to share her story. Shireen, over to you.
Thank you. Hello everyone, myself Shireen Ansari. I'm a member of Empower Leaders Lab. I'll be keeping a video off for better connectivity.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Today I'm going to be speaking about the value of involving girls in research. Along with 24 girl leaders, I conducted the research called In Her Voice in Mumbai to understand the impact of COVID-19 on a girl's life. From my personal experience of doing our research, I would like to share a few points to highlight why girls should be a part of any research. Our research was unique because it was designed and conducted by girls and with girls. So girls were the researchers as well as the respondents. I believe that a girl knows herself better than anyone. Therefore, it is important to involve her while making decisions about the things that are related to her life. We were involved at every step of the research, such as preparing the questionnaire by working on each question that was going to be asked. We developed the criteria for selecting girls as respondents and decided how girls should be involved in this research. We selected girls from various backgrounds who speak different languages and are often left out because of various reasons. Because we wanted to include what each girl had to share in her own way. After that, we did the interviews, collected data, analyzed it, and presented the findings. As a researcher, I experienced that there was an instant connect with the girls we interviewed. It helped us to get their insight to understand the impact of COVID-19 on their mobility, education, work, decision to get married, etc., which has further impacted to their self-confidence, freedom, and support system. My second point is that when we involve girls in the research, they not only design the research from their perspective, but go beyond to find the solutions for the issues they are facing. I believe that girls are the best place to let all of us, organizations, policymakers, donors, etc., to know what should they be doing to bring the changes in the life of girls. Our research has the recommendations from girls about what should be done to bring changes. Now it's all stakeholders' responsibility to take the steps to make those changes real. I will stop here, and I'm happy to answer if you would like to know more about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shireen. And today we have Ruchira and Raju Roy from Voluntary Health Association of Assam, Constellation, with us. I cordially invite you both to share your stories with our participants. Ma'am Ruchira.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hasiti. I would, since my video you see is not working, it's giving horrible problems. I have a presentation which I think is with you. I would start with the presentation and Raju would substantiate after that.
Sure.
Yeah, so we believe that no community initiative can survive or sustain without the complete proactive involvement of the community. And so we started a program which actually started with as a part of an impact assessment story for an impact assessment study for a different organization. But when we started the work, we are surprised to see that from where to where we reached. So I would be speaking very briefly about the particular aspect of the community-led self-assessment, which was a part of the SALT process, and which turns the dependence of care into actors not only for health, because we started with a health issue, but it went on to several other aspects or issues that were of concern to the community. Next slide, please. So we have this process where the community starts, we as guides, as facilitators, we just initiate the process with them and ask them where their dreams are. And when we see that their dreams basically boil down to what their community as a whole needs. So if one family is concerned about the education of its children or the health of the children, the well-being of the children, it percolates down to all the other families in that village or in that community. And so we have a common dream building where mothers, fathers, grandparents, youth, frontline workers, everyone gets together and they pictorially depict what is their dream for their particular community or for their village. Now, once they have thrashed it down to what is the dream of the community, they might have 3 or 4 dreams, but what is it that they need to emphasize on or prioritize as the first dream that they need to work on first? So next slide. So they go on to a dream, and suppose they have 4 issues in it. Say it might be child's health, it might be education, it might be road communication, because many of these communities live in very far-flung areas where road communication is a problem. So then they prioritize what they want to, which is the issue they want to work on first. And then comes down to assessing that which rung of the ladder we are on right now. Where do we stand now at this point when we realize this is an issue of concern to all of us in the community? And within a period of time, which rung of the ladder do we need to reach in order to find out whether we are moving in the correct direction? So they do a self-assessment of where they stand and from there where they want to go. And based on the assessment that they do, they plan an action plan of their own, only of their own, doable things which they think they can do. And then they start working on that action plan. After they work on the action plan, they start the wheels of progress on the action plan starts And then after that, they go back and they redo a self-assessment to see, okay, I was here. These are the actions I've taken. Where do I stand now? What are the bottlenecks I am facing? And then they move forward again. So next slide. So these are basically a few pictures of the kind of issues that were prioritized in a small village in a remote corner of our state, a village called Hiragata, where they felt that the school was in a pathetic condition, the primary school, and the community was concerned. There was no proper drinking water facility. There was no proper toilet. The building was there. I mean, the structure, the infrastructure was there, but there was nothing around it. No trees, no plants, nothing, no flowers to beautify the place. So they prioritized that this is one issue that we are going to work on. And that is how they started working on it after they made their self-assessment, after they got the entire community together and they started working on it. And now if I wish I could present to you the video of the particular school I'm talking about, where if you go now, it's a pleasure to see what kind of work they have done. So basically, when we follow the CLCP, which we have been doing from 2018 to the end of the project, but we have inbuilt it into all our other ongoing community development projects, is that first the community assesses who they are, what are they going to do. They realize, they prioritize their dreams, and they see where do we want to start and where do we want to be at the end of this period. They have a particular time slot that they select for themselves. It is nothing which we do, and that is why the SALT process is so inspiring and invigorating, because normally when we work on community development issues and initiatives, we always see that it's always something that we are handing it down to the community and saying, look, this is how you're going to do. Whereas this says, no, this says that you do. You think what you can take up, how much can you take up, and do it according to your own prioritization, according to your own pace. So then where are they now after they do the self-assessment? And then where are we going to go? How are they going to plan out the action? Once they plan out the action, they start taking the action again at their own pace, because everyone in the community is not at the same kind of, what should I say, level of comprehension and level of
Ma'am,
yeah, sorry.
Ma'am, we are running out of time.
And then go back and re-evaluate or reassess what we have done.
Okay. Next.
हेलो, मैं राजू रॉय। मैं हिंदी में कहना चाहूँगा, हिरागाटा कम्युनिटी में जो काम हुआ है, सेल्फ असेसमेंट के बाद हिरागाटा कम्युनिटी रियलाइज किया कि एक्चुअली उन्हें करना क्या, उनका प्रॉब्लम क्या है। और उससे पहले उनको समझ में नहीं आ रहा था प्रोसेस। जब हमने सेल्फ असेसमेंट किया और बेसिकली वहाँ इम्यूनाइजेशन का प्रॉब्लम था, इम्यूनाइजेशन लेवल वहाँ कम था परसेंटेज, और लोगों में हेजिटेंसी था, लोग वहाँ इम्यूनाइजेशन करवाने नहीं जाते थे जल्दी, बहुत सारे मिसकंसेप्शन से। उसके बाद सेल्फ असेसमेंट के बाद उन्होंने रियलाइज किया कि नहीं, इम्यूनाइजेशन हमारा प्रायोरिटी है, और उन्होंने अपने आप को जो सेल्फ असेसमेंट में लेवल है उसमें पाया कि हम 2 लेवल पे है और इसको हमको 5 लेवल तक अचीव करना है। और फिर छोटे छोटे स्मॉल जो सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप थे वहाँ के वुमेन्स वो आगे आई और उन्होंने ग्रुप बना के फ्रंटलाइन हेल्थ वर्कर को साथ लिया और घर घर जाके छोटे छोटे ग्रुप में उन्होंने मीटिंग करना शुरू किया, अवेयरनेस करना शुरू किया लोगों को, ताकि लोग इम्यूनाइजेशन के लिए आए। और वो धीरे धीरे काम करने लगा, लोग आने लगे इम्यूनाइजेशन के लिए। और एक वक्त 1-1.5 साल में ऐसा हुआ कि हिरागाटा में ऑलमोस्ट सभी घरों में इम्यूनाइजेशन कंप्लीट हो गया था, 100% इम्यूनाइजेशन था। और वहाँ के लोग पास वाले गांव में जहाँ इम्यूनाइजेशन नहीं था वहाँ भी जाके लोगों को एनकरेज कर रहे थे कि इम्यूनाइजेशन करवाइए। उसके साथ साथ स्कूल मैनेजमेंट कमेटी जो थी वो इन्वॉल्व हुई, और जो आपने फोटोग्राफ्स देखे स्कूल मैनेजमेंट कमेटी ने अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व किया और स्कूल में बहुत सारे काम करवाए। जो एक स्कूल नेग्लेक्टेड था, गवर्नमेंट एड के बिना कम्युनिटी ने खुद चंदा कलेक्ट किया, कलेक्ट करके स्कूल में फैन लगवाए, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी लगवाया, वाटर पाइपलाइन कनेक्शन करवाए, फिर स्कूल ब्यूटिफिकेशन किया। तो हीराघाटा
yes, Raj, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm sorry for interrupting because we are running out of time. And viewers, if you want the translation, it's in the chat. So now, since we are running out of time, we are going to our breakout sessions. In a few minutes, all the attendees automatically directed into groups, and you will have 8 to 10 participants in each group and 2 to 3 facilitators there. All the facilitators have been given the access to note-taking slides, and please check the accessibility before the session starts. And if any of you have any technical issues, please select the Ask for Help option and notify us. Our production team is ready to help you with that. You can share your views on the priorities for Eval for Action campaign using the discussion questions, and you will be given 20 minutes for the discussion. After the discussion, once you come back to the main room, please notify your presenter's name to our production team via the chat box. Please note that each group will be given only 2 minutes to present. So now our producers will send you all to the breakout room. See you in 20 minutes. Hi everyone, welcome all back. Sorry for the sudden direction to the breakout sessions. Hope our facilitators guided you through each. Hello? Guided.
Yes, we can hear
me?
you.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, we can hear you.
So hope our facilitators guided you through each individual actions by community and actions by organizations, which we can take to ensure that our community is taking ownership of evaluation. So please leave your group's presenter's name in the chat box so that I can call them accordingly. Each group will be given 2 minutes to present. Since we are dealing with a strict time schedule, I urge all the presenters to stick to the time that you have given, or else I might have to jump in and disturb you. Okay, so let's start with group 1. Maha, can you?
Yes. So, Hesiti, I will be presenting, or Arandita. We didn't get the time to decide, but
yes, please present.
Okay. Can someone please put group 1 slide on the screen? We filled it out.
Refresh the slides.
Can I share?
Arandita? Yeah.
Yes, this is the one.
Okay, so hi everybody. We were group 1, and in our group, a lot of people spoke and shared insights. So I'll just jump right into the individual actions. So our group members said that the sensitization of the issue has to come from the individuals. They're responsible to help make people realize that it is an issue. And first of all, more than before they tell people, they have to internally within themselves, they have to realize that where the problem is. So defining the problem is number 1. Then it was said that our role as a facilitator and not as an implementer. So redefining facilitation. The third point was we can train individuals to become leaders by taking ownership. So taking responsibility is also was also discussed. The fourth point is work on our mindsets, work on strength-based approach. So again, from all of these points, you can somewhat say that the mindset or how you think or how you define a problem and how you approach it is a common theme which is coming out. Next is actions by the community. The point one is confidence on their potential and strength-based. Let's get on the driver's seat. So again, when the community decides together to take responsibility and ownership and be the driver, that is point one. Actions by community will motivate other communities with similar problems. These actions can be mobilizing communities on their own, which is a very natural way of evolving, that you see something good and then you try to replicate it, and it's something which is very organic, very natural, and you help others, you learn from each other. And the third point is motivating each other to take ownership, which is quite similar to point two, which is when you see somebody helping
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We should move on to the next group.
Okay.
Group two.
Thank you. Yeah, group two. Yes, thank you so much, Ashiti. I'll be quick and straight to the point. We looked at actionable actions that we could use in our regions. And one, we talked of using social media. There was a very interesting idea of using TikTok. Actually, I know that is one of the trending applications that we are seeing, and we could use them to advocate, and the indigenous communities can use that. At the community level, we had many great ideas. We talked of having an inductive approach, so that even when donors have a certain indicators, sorry, which they are interested in, we are still able to look at the communities and ensure that all scope is covered. We talked about, I gave an example of a project that we are doing here in Kenya, and having reference group of all the stakeholders that are involved to ensure that everyone is included. We also talked of another case in Pakistan, again, that scoped around that. At the organization level, we talked of a great initiative that is being currently done by Eval Youth Global Network together with UNFPA, where we have set up a committee, youth steering committee, to engage youth in evaluation at all levels of evaluation. So the communities in Asia can borrow a leaf from this, and this will be good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. So the group three, presenter. Group three, Tony. Tony? Okay, until Tony.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please start.
Okay, so on the individual actions that we would take to ensure community ownership in evaluation, we agreed on using success stories and sharing them with the community, we as individuals, so that it can assist in getting motivated or assisting them to be motivated with a project. We can use other methods such as dancing, because music relates so much and it has a lot of information. So we can use music and dancing or related songs to the community to enhance ownership. We can as well we start practicing within the organization and then take the community forward. That is enhancing community organization so that they can work together. And then by actions by the community, or things that the community can do to enhance their ownership, is that they can, we get a thinner line between the community and the project, so that in as much as there is a sort of a ladder between the community and the project, and the project facilitators or the funders, there is a thin line. So there is a more interrelation between the two. This will enhance ownership. The other one is giving them duties and responsibilities to various community members. For example, the community gatekeepers. With this, it would enhance ownership. The other one is documentation, so that even the community members can have a copy of what is going on, and then monitor the documentation sorry, by the community members. Then how about the organization? We agreed that
Tony, we are running out of time. I'm really sorry to you. Maybe we'll go into the next group. Group number 4.
Hi. I thought we don't have enough time to discuss all the points, but I can share with our groups. I am Chatura. So when thinking about the individual actions and our groups, people said that Ritu, Swarnalata and all people engaging us and help communities realize their issues and motivate them to find solutions as an individual action, empower involving grantees, partners, and finalizing the many framework for programs. I thought it came under the community as well. So the third one is concentrate on data and indicators, how to involve the design to roadmaps. It's an individual action for strengthen communities. So and meet the language experts. So because we need some to get the all people attention, as well as to create the comfortable zone for them. So it's a good point for as we discussed. And in community level, involve parents and siblings. And one our participant said that they are working in their beneficiaries, and she said that involve parents and siblings for the beneficiaries in taking active role in programs, build a sense of shared ownership and collaborative practices. And the final one is organizational one. We said we can set up an e-group to community ownership in evaluation. Yes, that's the points. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Shadra. I think you went through all these questions. Then the group 5.
So as individual actions, we can do capacity building of individuals on the importance of evaluation, each one, and also we can incorporate community ownership evaluation into community activities to raise awareness among the community members. And as actions by community, fill in the gaps between what is expected and what is existing in the community on evaluation and monitoring, and also facilitate the community to set up evaluation committee, like holding workshops, and also develop their own evaluation tool to evaluate and monitoring. And actions by for the actions by organizations, we can take capacity building of the community and development of unique evaluation policy for each organization. And also we can develop social media campaigns to raise awareness and to promote evaluation of the community.
Okay, thank you, Deshika. Next, we'll move on to group number 6.
Okay, so I'll be presenting for group 6. So at the individual level, this is what we talked about. So we said that as evaluators and researchers, we should let the community think and speak for themselves. So from thinking about their own problems that they want to address to finding solutions to these problems, our role is just to facilitate this process. And this means that we have to go to the ground and be on the same level with the community or with the people, and really to help them and empower them to help find their voices. So at the community level, so this is one of the actions that we can take, is to participate in the Walk the Talk campaign and share how we have engaged the communities to take ownership in evaluation. And at the organizational level, one of our like a lot of our participants said that organizations need to ensure that communities are engaged throughout not only the evaluation process, but the whole program cycle, or the process from designing, implementation, to the evaluation of the program. So there was an example where they engaged communities through village education committees for monitoring of non-formal education centers. So through this process, they help to ensure that adolescent girls in centers are improved and retained their attendance. And a good action also is that after encouraging communities to really be engaged and empower them, it is important also to not leave them behind, but to help them coordinate and create linkages to other partners as well, so that they can also help in the process of this empowerment of the communities.
Okay, thank you, May. Thank you very much. So we'll move on to the last group, group number 7. Group number 7, Shaista or Tileka. Any presenters from group 7?
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
For the individual actions, we can establish rapport with community, encourage individuals. Third, listening to the community. 4, exclusive approach to the community. And actions by community, we can dialogue with community and with outsiders and discuss the purpose of this evaluation and develop management skills in the community and understanding the local languages. And in the actions by organizations, organizations should be supporting for the going into the community and enabling environmental approaches and capacity building. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So we will. Thank you very much. I'm really sorry if I jumped in. Looks like everyone had a very good discussion and took maximum out of the session. So many ideas, actions that we can take to realize our dream. Wonderful. So as we are running out of time, we will quickly move on to the reflection. The next segment, we have 2 invitees, Ian Davies and Jayanti Pushkaran, who will be sharing reflections on this session topic. I would like to call one of the speaker, Ian Davies, former president of the European Evaluation Society. Ian, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this session. I can't tell whether or not you can see me, but more importantly, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible. Go ahead, Ian.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Very briefly, I've just been given 3 minutes, so I'll just share a few quick reflections with you. Let me know when I've got about 30 seconds left so I can wrap it up. First of all, I'm sitting here in Denmark, so it was quite interesting to read the quote from Søren Kierkegaard, who's a Danish philosopher. Truth always rests with the minority. And for those of you who might be wondering about or know about Kierkegaard's somewhat somber outlook on life, Kierkegaard in Danish means cemetery. Kirke means church, and gård means garden. So a cemetery is the church's garden. A nice reminder of our mortality. a few quick thoughts, and here I'm talking to evaluators. We talk about empowering stakeholders. We in fact take power away, and we have taken power away. And here, this is the societal we. So it's not so much about empowering stakeholders, but it's about giving back the power that was taken from them, and more specifically from rights holders and claims holders. So, if I had one, not an admonition, but certainly one thing to suggest as a frame of mind, is that we as evaluators, we have to stop taking. And Ritu said, are we ready to let go? Are we ready to give? I think that's an important question. Mainstream evaluation behaves very much like an extractive industry. And we're constantly looking for data, we're looking for findings, and we're looking for material of one type or another to either write reports or communicate. That's not the only reason we do that, but for a lot of us, myself included, this is how we make our living. So I think we have to be keenly aware and conscious of the fact that we do behave collectively in a lot of cases as an extractive industry. And we basically have to stop taking, we have to let go, and we have to start giving. Ownership is about power. And I think we also need to understand that ownership is a political proposition, and it is part of a broader set of political systems, of which one is evaluation. And we have to recognize that. So how do we forge linkages between systems, or if you wish, communities? The word community comes from the root common. And it's really about common values. So we have evaluation communities. There are communities of people who live together that we refer to as possibly marginalized communities, to quote Marco. However, we can also create communities with other communities. And I think that this is important. We need to think in terms, when we engage with other communities, not only of giving, but of sharing. So I'm just going to stop now, leave these few reflections with you. And once again, thank you very, very much for this wonderful, wonderful session.
Thank you.
We'll catch up soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. So next, I'm inviting Janti Pushkaran, Senior Program Officer, Adults and Girls Empower, the Emerging Markets Foundation, to share her views with that. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Hasita. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So, it was wonderful to have this dialogue with everyone and to hear the stories that you all shared. And it really, really helped, all of us who are practitioners learn more about how to involve communities, but also the ways in which we can make it more effective. And the stories and dialogues that we heard today not only emphasized on the importance of community involvement in ensuring effectiveness of evaluation, but what it brought out is the need that the ways that we practice evaluation must also shift, so that evaluation doesn't remain something done to people, rather than something that is done with them, for them, and, yes, why not, by them. Just going to take a famous quote from the Alice in Wonderland, which goes like this: if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. This applies to evaluation too. And involving communities in evaluation is very important to define and decide where we are going, or in assessing, are we really going there? if you look closely at the case studies from Ratugala Forest Dwellers, Empowers in Her Voice report, the case study presented by Voluntary Health Association of Assam, Constellation, these stories shows when the plan and commitment of evaluation is rooted in the mission, values, and goals of community, everything changes. What the findings are telling us, how we use it, how it contributes to the evidence of impact, and our experiences, and how it contributes to producing change. And together, these stories, provides us practitioners and evaluators with the tools we need to extend local ownership to evaluation. If we want to make evaluation inclusive, equitable, and community driven, we need to ask, who are we listening to? How are we listening to them? And how do we help communities use the learnings from evaluation to contribute to strategic learning and change? I'm going to take a critical look at the world that I come from, which is the world of donors. For many, decades, donors have increased pressure on funding recipients to demonstrate outcomes more and more rigorously. What this has led to is a greater emphasis on demonstrating the links between intervention and outcomes. And what these pressures have also done is to push program implementers and evaluators away from participatory approaches, assumed to be too subjective and therefore biased, and towards the use of external evaluation experts whose interaction with program implementers and participants is sometimes, intentionally limited in order to ensure objectivity or rigor. However, when we do that, we do not get the full picture of what programs are achieving or not achieving. For that full picture to emerge, the people intended to benefit from the funding needs to be heard. Their needs, capacities, their values and interests, or their judgment of interventions, success or failures need to be recognized. Now, we at Empower learned this very early in our work, and one of our key learnings has been to share power with the community and to hear them closely, so that their voices must be the front and center of our design, decision making, and feedback. I'm going to stop here, and thank you.
Thank you, Shanti. Thank you very much for joining us today. So with that, we are moving to the final stage of this consultation. Without further ado, I would like to invite Bhuban Bhadracharya, President of Nepal Evaluation Society, to deliver the closing remarks. Bhubanji, the floor is yours.
Thank you, SD. So today we had a very wonderful this consultation program we had. And we have participants not just from some of the countries from this Asia Pacific region, from altogether 4 different continents, I think, right? Asia, Africa, Europe, and then maybe one more. I just believe there could be 4 continents. We are all together here to discuss upon very pertinent issue of engaging communities in evaluation process. So based upon whatever presentations that are made and the group discussion and these reflections, I have picked up few of the points. I just like to quickly present them to you in a bullet point form. Definitely, these 5 dimensions, as explained by Ritu, they are very much important to be kept in our mind while making our designing process for this evaluation and all that. And these are, as she has succinctly presented, control on technical decision making. That's very, very much important, because at times, while doing these evaluation, our effort most of the times goes in terms of sharing the information rather than inviting the control in the decision-making process as such. So this point is very much important and it needs to be emphasized. So we need to keep in mind this diversity or relation among the stakeholders. Definitely, how do we deal with that? That's very much critical. And the depth of evaluation. These are very much important points she has made. And from the stories that are presented, we can see some of the things. Yeah, they are from Sri Lanka, Bombay, India, and once again from one of the communities from Assam. They are quite revealing how these community-based evaluation process can be undertaken and how effective they can be made. And some of the points I could pick up from group activities are story sharing to win the confidence. That is very much important. Defining the problems and the issues, talking with the communities. That's another point. Using the social media tools, both at the individual level as well as at the organization level, that is emphasized. Consultations with the communities, very critical. Consider local language, quite important point. Capacity building of community individuals for evaluation process, that is another point. And in that context, each one teach one, that is one of the options that is being discussed. And as for the community part, collaboration between project officials and the community members, that is emphasized very much from the very start of the project. And they make communities keep record keeping, make them involved in the monitoring process from the very beginning, train individuals to become leaders, and the help communities to form evaluation committees. That is quite important. And some of the points are give platforms to the community organizations and make use of evaluation organizations also. That is another point raised. And they engage communities in the evaluation process, linking to non-formal education, because this education is quite important, right? So
Yes.
these are some of the points emphasized in this group discussion and the group presentations.
Yes,
And the
Bhupen.
reflections, Ian's point, are we ready to give?
Bhupenji, can you please conclude faster because we are running out of time? Maybe.
Okay, that's right. So evaluation, we have to be careful not to make extractive exercises. That is one, and it is done done for people. That needs to be avoided. It is done with the people. So these are the things. So in order to make this event very much successful, a lot of efforts are being put by our colleagues. So we'd like to express our thanks to our facilitators, our producers, and our communication team, and lastly, all our organizers, lead organizers who are involved in arranging all these elements for the success of this consultation program as such. So I announce further a closure of this consultation program. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Bhupenji. So now I would like to invite everyone to take a group photo, Memories with Millions, right? So if you can turn on your videos, our producers will capture us all in one snap. So thank you, everyone. Just a quick reminder that the next consultation in the region, the consultation on professionalization of evaluation, will be on 2nd of September. And at the 20th SLABA webinar, doing no harm in evaluation, promoting ethics and maximizing goodwill, be on 30th July. So I invite you, like all of you, to register for these events, and our producers will now share the links with you via the chat. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you had a productive and a wonderful time. If you're sharing your experience on Twitter, please don't forget to use these handles and hashtags. Thank you and keep in touch. Stay safe. And there is a 2 minutes video which is provided by Save the Children. Well, it is a story on how children are engaging in evaluation. So before you leave, you can take a look on that too. Keep.
This is the process of forming child monitors. We first selected 36 child leaders from their children's club who offered to volunteer to be a child evaluator in their community to help monitor and evaluate the child protection mechanism in their estate. Save the Children monitoring and evaluation team supported the child monitors by building their critical thinking skills, which provided them with curiosity about their immediate surroundings. This curiosity promoted children to ask questions why. We help children advocate for their child rights by helping them identify the child rights issues and advocate for change. We provided children with leadership and team building opportunities to help child monitors to be strong leaders and also effective team players. Then we help children to develop child-friendly monitoring and evaluation tool for children to easily use. And then we train children on ethical data management with overarching principle of do no harm. Finally, we taught them how to effectively use and uptake the monitoring and evaluation findings. We also incorporated child safeguarding into this program. Children were thoroughly briefed on child safeguarding and given informed consent to participate as child monitors and evaluators. We provided them with reporting lines and a safe space to report any concerns of child safeguarding issues. Throughout this process, we facilitated child evaluators to collect and analyze data and also share their findings with the relevant people. Additionally, we provided children guidance to identify and link with relevant government child protection mechanism known as Village Child Development Committee in their respective communities.
Hi, hello. எல்லாத்துக்கும் வணக்கம். என் பேர் நிஷாந்தன். நான் வந்து ECDC நிறுவனத்தில் ஒரு தலைவராக இருக்கேன். உங்ககிட்டலாம் நான் நிறைய பேசணும்.
என்னோட பேர் வந்து மேனலட்சுமி விநாயகமூர்த்தி. நான் வந்து சவுத் சில்ட்ரனில் வந்து சில்ட்ரன் கிளப்பில் வந்து தலைவராக இருக்கிறேன். நான் வந்து போன வருஷம் நடந்த மானிட்டரிங் ட்ரைனிங்க்கு போயிருந்தேன்.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.